Support provided by the Chesapeake and Newport News with chef-centric farm-to-table dining. thechesapeake.org. Hi friends, welcome to another edition of Cooking with Jay. I'm the host, producer, and the chef for the show here in the Jazz Kitchen. Hope all of you are doing well. Today I'm going to make a delicious, fairly simple, actually somewhat deceptively simple classic. I'm going to make pepper steak. Now, if you've eaten in a lot of the Asian restaurants, that's pretty much a staple on their menus. So, but it's a delicious way to cook beef. All right, so I'm going to show you what I have here. I'm not just using green bell pepper. Mostly it's green bell pepper, but I have green bell pepper, I have red bell pepper as well, and some white onion diced up in here. Okay, here I have a beef filet mignon, not a flank steak. It is beef filet mignon in here, and I season it with black garlic pepper. You can just season it with salt and pepper, but I season it with salt and black garlic pepper. Slice the steak up into fairly thin slices like that. Okay, and in here, this is the sauce. So what's in the sauce? I have about a quarter cup of soy sauce, about a quarter cup to a third a cup of water. Okay, I have about a tablespoon, 2 tablespoons of light brown sugar. I have about a tablespoon of rice wine vinegar. And what else do I have in here? Water, soy sauce, sugar, vinegar. Oh, cornstarch. I have about a tablespoon and a half of cornstarch because it's going to act as a thickener, okay, once I create the sauce. So let's go over here to the stove and I'll show you very quickly how I put this dish together. Okay, and we're going to add, what I'm going to do first, let's see, I have this on. It's close enough. All right, I want it a little bit hotter, so you want to cook this pretty much in high heat. I have it in my wok right now, okay? Turn that up a little bit. And because what I'm going to do is saute these peppers and onions in some vegetable oil. I'm using olive oil, okay? Now, could you make it with just green bell pepper? Yes, of course, right? But I add some bell pepper in there because the bell pepper flavor is different than green pepper, okay? It's a different flavor profile there. But it also adds some nice color, some beautiful color to the dish. The onions, of course, are going to add what they do, the onions, right? And I just love me some onions. I'm using the cut of meat I'm using a beef filet mignon. It's a high-end piece of beef, right? Piece of steak. So beautifully tender. Oh man, it just melts in your mouth. But you can use a flank steak, a little bit tougher, but it can work. Okay, it'll still give you some good flavor. Now remember, you slice the beef up. And I season it with black garlic pepper, but you can use just regular black pepper, and some salt. Mix well with the pieces after you slice the beef. Mix well. And this, I just kind of let it sit, kind of get it room temperature a little bit. Give that salt and pepper time to get into the meat with some flavor happening. All right. Just going to cook this just for another minute. These veggies, sliced up green pepper, about a half of red bell pepper, not a whole one, but a whole green pepper, and about a half of white onion in there. And I'm cooking this right now in just some pretty much olive oil, vegetable oil, okay. You want to cook them for about 2-3 minutes. So the onions could get somewhat translucent. Okay, it's a fairly simple dish to make. It doesn't take a lot of time. You can make it very quickly, and I'm gonna serve it with rice. Eventually, I'm gonna make some rice. Not on the video, but I'm gonna make some rice. Okay, and then have a good dinner. Okay? And what I'm going to do when these vegetables here are just about done, and they are just about another minute. The beef won't take long at all to cook. The beef will cook in 2 minutes, right? Because you cook it on high heat, and the wok, because of the shape of the wok, keeps a lot of that heat in that center. So that's why these dishes cook very, very quickly. Okay. All right, we're almost ready here. La 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 la. La 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 la. And it smells, man, those peppers and onions. Oh, my goodness. All right, let's take these out. I use a slotted spoon, so I want to leave some of that oil in there. Okay, I might have to add a little bit. Woo, so that fire coming up around me. It's called pepper steak. Some people call it green pepper steak. But what if you're only using green pepper? Then you call it pepper steak. Add a little bit more olive oil. Okay, the pan is very, very hot. All right, turn that up. All right, now we're going to get the beef in here. Where's the beef? You remember that commercial? Years ago. We're in the home stretch now, folks. And make sure these slices are separated. They'll start to stick together. A beautiful cut of meat. Woo! Hot. Okay. And because these slices are so thin, ooh, it's hot. The heat is coming up from around that pan. It won't take long at all for these slices of beef to cook. And I'm going to get my sauce. Bring that over here. Because in just a moment, we're going to add some of that sauce. We are in the home stretch, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, getting there. Like I said, about 2-3 minutes. Won't take long at all for this beef to cook. We'll keep the slices separate. High heat in the wok. Now, do you have to use a wok to cook it in? No, you don't have to use a wok to cook it in. Just a regular saucepan will do. And I like to use a wok. I like the feel of my wok. And of course, in Asian restaurants, they use the wok. Very traditional to the culture. All right. Okay, what I'm going to do now is add. While this beef is cooking, I'm going to add some garlic. A few cloves of minced up garlic. And some minced up ginger. Okay, about a couple teaspoons, half a tablespoon of minced up ginger. Alright, that's very hot, so you don't want to burn your garlic. Alright. Yes, yes. Alright, that beef is done. So what we're going to do now, the last part of this, we're going to add or return the peppers and onions to the steak. Mix around nicely. Now last but not least, we're going to add our sauce, which is again some soy sauce, water, cornstarch, rice wine vinegar, and brown sugar. Okay? All right. Now, because the cornstarch is in here, we'll start to thicken a bit. And the sugar will start to caramelize a little bit. Wow. Onions, bell pepper, garlic, ginger. Folks, ladies and gentlemen, I like the way that sounds too. Just for a few seconds longer. Just so that sauce will start to thicken a little bit more. There we go. You see how that sauce gets not too thick. Not too thick. It's perfect. Perfect. Okay. All right, now so I'm going to turn this off. Set this over here. Look at that. So we have some beautiful pepper steak. That's what's happening tonight. Set this back over here. See how easy what that was to make? It just put it together. Of course, you got to prep. You know, that takes some time. You got to chop up the peppers, chop up the white onion. I use white onion. Slice the beef, season it with salt and pepper. Get the beef at room temperature. Make the sauce with some water, about half a cup of water, quarter cup of soy sauce, tablespoon of rice wine vinegar, 2 tablespoons of light brown sugar, and about a tablespoon and a half of cornstarch. Okay, stir it around. And so you have your seasoned steak, you have your sauce made, and you have your vegetables diced up. Red bell pepper, half a red bell pepper, 1 whole green pepper, and half of white onion diced up. And you saw how I put it together. Then you add some garlic in with the beef, a few cloves of garlic, finely minced up, and about a half a tablespoon of some minced up ginger, fresh ginger in there. And you got yourself a delicious pepper steak. I'm Jay Sennett. Thanks for watching this edition of Cooking with Jay, which is Cooking with Jay. You can watch it starting at 6 o'clock Sunday evenings on the WHO Public Media Facebook page. 6 o'clock it starts, and it just once it's up on the page, it just stays there, so you can check it out later. Don't forget Send It in Session, my jazz show, Monday through Thursday nights, 9 until 1. Saturday mornings, 1 until 5. Sunday afternoons from 1 until 5 on WHRV 89.5. And I also host the R&B Chronicles Friday nights from 7 until 8. Be safe out there, friends. Thanks to the Chesapeake for the fantastic underwriting support. Always greatly appreciative of the underwriting support. Appreciate you watching the show. If you have any questions or comments, always send me an email to j.sennett@whrv.org. jae.sennett, SINNETT, @whrv.org. We'd always love to know what you think about the show. Thanks for watching.
Support provided by the Chesapeake in Newport News, catering to the palate of every single resident. More at thechesapeake.org.